Rock and roll. All right, party time.
Godzilla says that I should learn to fight my own battles, no.
Hello, cadets. Welcome back to the Big Monster Briefing Room. I'm General Lemuel T. Howitzer, retired, although you wouldn't know it by looking at me. I'm looking very in character tonight. I got my old jacket out and decided to put it on. I like it. It feels good. So in any case, I digress. We are back to the first show of 2014. I think it's show number 101. It might be 102. We are going to do Mysterious Island, a Jules Verne story that was turned into a Charles Smear movie in 1961. And again, if you were a kid back at that time, this was the Star Wars of that time, man. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, First Men in the Moon, Mysterious Island. You know, these were all Ray Harryhausen, Charles Schneer productions. So this is an interesting timeline that we're going to be watching today. But first, let me bring up my assistants, my able-bodied assistants, Major Millie Hazzard and Sergeant Havoc.
Sir, yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here. Do you have your peach tea ready for 2024?
I've got my peach tea. It's in a skull and crossbones cup because there's pirates in this movie.
Yeah,
this movie's got everything. It's got Captainnemo. It's got pirates. It's got giant monsters.
Do you have anything to say about potato chips and Philly cheesesteak?
Oh yeah, well, you know, I've got a little gas here because you're talking about just before we went on the air. You know, when you're walking through the snack aisle in your local supermarket, you know, sometimes there's impulse buys that jump out at you. So
I don't know what you're talking about at all. I have perfect control over all my impulses.
Okay, so you eat healthy. You don't do like I do. You know, again, I'm retired. I can put on some weight. I'm okay.
I'll just tell you this, General, at NASA, they just totally beat that right out of us in the first week. No impulses, no impulse buying, no impulses at all. I don't even have a desire left in my body. It's incredible.
It's like most of the kids that watch this show. Yeah, it's should I buy a shirt for work or can I get a Godzilla action figure? You know, you know, my Monster Arts for $42. That's a deal. Anyway, so I'm walking through the chip aisle and it jumps out of me off the shelf. It's a stackable potato chip. The flavor is, are you ready for this? Philly cheesesteak.
And it's stackable. That's incredible.
I like Philly cheesesteaks. So I eat some of these and it's nasty. I mean, it's like moldy cheese, onions, green pepper. I guess there's some beef flavor in there.
Oh boy!
But
it didn't.
I'm thinking there's something wrong here. Oh, that's right. There are no potatoes on a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. A chili feast steak.
The potatoes don't belong there. I don't think so.
That's right. You eat those on the side. Wait a minute.
Doesn't make any sense. So this is a non-sponsorship. We're going to non-recommend.
No, yeah, that's why I didn't say the name of the potato chip company. I don't want to get sued.
No, we don't.
But it's the only one that has a chili Philly cheesesteak flavor. I will say that, and for good reason.
You got to tell Rory Penland to not use them when he goes down to the Keys, Florida Keys. He always does the chip impression.
Oh, that's right. He does the thing where he does have voices and he eats a chip.
Fantastic. It's my favorite.
Give me a story eating a chip. Yeah.
You're almost as good as he is. You must be taking lessons there, General.
You know, I do a few voices.
Don't quit your day job, you know.
Right. Well, I'm retired. So, don't quit retirement. Don't come out of retirement. That's the new voices. All right. So,
I'm loving Sergeant Havoc's facial expressions and reactions in this one. It's just perfect. It's just
reaction to my chicanery at the beginning of the show. I'm just glad to be back. Are you guys glad to be back?
Me too.
I'm glad to be anywhere.
Yeah. So,
It's 2024. The world is boining. We're all excited.
The world is boining.
Boining. That's right.
It's boining.
It's bonkers. It's bananas out there. Bananas.
We need some preparation H.
Yeah. I need some preparation K and J and all of the alphabet. Preparation alphabet for me.
Well, I thought you were going somewhere with that, but
I steered clear. I was very well behaved today. NASA
all right,
beat
this is a
it all
Columbia
out of me.
picture.
All right.
NASA beats something out of you.
Yep. If you need something out of you, go to NASA. They know how to do it. They got the good stuff and the right stuff and all the stuff.
Don't no more got no impulses.
No more impulses, no more desires, no more sensations, no more sensuality. It's all gone.
Poor Roland.
Wait a minute.
Well, I do
How did he get into this conversation?
I get my weekends off, Sergeant. I work hard, I play hard, you know. We work hard, we play hard.
Well, she's on assignment. I mean, that's why we're not looking at her. I mean, we're looking at a picture of her, but she's on assignment again.
On a
I'm on assignment, and let me just look. I figured it out. I said, "How am I going to telegraph without telegraphing? You know, because it's all confidential." I'll just tell you, I'm on a soif and toif assignment. Soif and toif.
Toif.
That's the only thing I'm going to say about it. Soif and toif. That's your hint. All right.
All right.
The Siege of Roland, Virginia. Oh, Richmond. Sorry.
Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, you got Roland on mine now.
Yeah,
it's a prison, a military prison during the Civil War. That's when this takes place, is during the Civil War. And there's a observation balloon there, conveniently in the middle of the prison. Not sure why, but anyway, not sure how the balloon doesn't get popped by all the gunfire that's going off around, you know. But anyway, there's a lot of plot holes in this thing. When I was a kid, this was one of my favorite training films. I love this film because, like I said, it's got everything. It's got pirates. It's got, you know, adventure. It's got giant monsters. And then looking over this timeline, I'm thinking, wow, we got a lot of plot holes here, mostly due to Captainnemo, supposedly a genius. We'll get to that later. So there is a newsman that they're bringing into the prison, and he's looking to have a nice dry cell. He's looking to be caught and put in prison. And these guys are planning a prison break. They're whittling away the stairs there that come down to the prison cell. And yeah, they're Union soldiers. So these guys come down the staircase. Of course, they take a tumble. That's Spilett, the news guy on the left.
Mm-hmm.
The actor's name is Gary Merrill. He was also in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's very good in this, actually. As his Spilett is his name. Spilett. Come on, Spilett.
Seems appropriate for a war correspondent.
for somebody who writes the news. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Come on, Spilett. Tell us what happened. So they fall down the stairs, and the guy there on the bottom left was Neb.
Yep.
He plays harmonica.
And
beautiful
and
singer.
He's got a pipe there, and he's taking it out. Like,
they actually did very well at collecting,
whip on a white guy.
Weapons down in the prison cell there.
Yeah.
So
Herbert's
got a knife. They didn't check it. They didn't check him. He's got a knife on him. That's how they were able to cut through the stairs there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they get outside. They get outside in the rain. They get outside, and they're going to steal the balloon. That's their plan, and they're going to get away in the balloon. Luckily, the Confederate soldiers don't know how to shoot straight, and they don't fire at the balloon, I guess. So there it is. So they all jump into the balloon, And they start to ride it away, and Herbert freezes, and he doesn't want to. He's a scaredy cat. He's kind of a chicken, and he finally at the last minute, he goes, "Oh man, I'm gonna get stuck here. I'm gonna get left here." He runs and he jumps in the balloon basket. So they manage to get above the buildings in the town, and they get up there, and they've got a prisoner. They've got one of the Confederate sergeants on there. I can't remember his name right off the hand. Actually, this was actually filmed in England, and they're all using the southern accents and stuff, which is fun. And there is an actor, the lead actor in this, Michael Craig, is still alive.
Oh,
he's got to be in his 90s.
Yeah,
and there's so many Michael Craigs online, I couldn't find him. I would have loved to have had his commentary on this. But so they're going up to the clouds. They can't throw the Confederate soldier over. And he says, "Hey, I can help you by flying this balloon. So, keep me alive." And they fly. They got food in there, and they fly for about 3-4 days, and they use up all the food. And then the thing, they go, "Hey, let's go down and take a closer look." And the thing that brings the balloon down gets stuck open, so it keeps going down and keeps going down and keeps going down too fast. So they end up breaking that, so they can't go down anymore. So the wind keeps blowing it, and then there's a big storm, and they hear water breaking up on a shore. So they think, "Oh, hey, there's probably land close by," and it's lucky for them because the balloon is now going down on its own. There's a rip in it. There's a tear in it. And during this whole scene, people start falling off the balloon. They cut the basket off, and then they start falling off the thing that used to hold the basket. And the captain goes in the drink, and then the other two guys, Neb and Pencroft. Pencroft is the Confederate soldier. They ride it to shore, and here's the island. Nice little matte shot with seagulls superimposed over it. And it's like a green screen. It's like one of Hazzard's green screens, because the seagulls, when they're going around, they're kind of invisible sometimes. Sometimes you can see them. I'm sorry. I shouldn't pick on Havoc. I'm sorry, okay. Hazard. I shouldn't pick on Havoc either. So Neb is calling out for the captain. He really is loyal to the captain. And they hope the captain will come to shore, or was able to swim to shore, although he was very far out, a couple miles out. The other guys are like, "Hey, let's eat." We found some giant oysters. So there they are, gigantic oysters. So Neb is a little pissed off because they're not helping him look for the captain. Oh, he's dead. Come on, have an oyster. And then he sees smoke from around the corner of the island there. And he goes running, and he calls out the other guys, and they go running. Hey, there's smoke. So they find the captain. He's on shore. He's alive, and there's a fire next to him. But he's like, "I couldn't have started a fire. I have no matches on me. I was out. I was unconscious until just now. So I couldn't have made a fire." So they're like, that's suspicious. Hey, let's eat some oysters. It's all about the oysters.
Yeah.
All about the giant oysters.
You got to keep your strength up when you're stuck on a deserted island like that.
That's true. I think Spilett says that, and he becomes the cook.
And it gives you the first hint that something's kind of up because giant oysters.
Yeah, they really don't know where they are yet. They know they're in the Pacific somewhere because they went all the way across the country for 3-4 days in a balloon ride across the country. So they know it's got to be west of the country. So it's got to be the Pacific somewhere. So they think they're somewhere like near Fiji or something like that. So it's a volcanic island, and immediately the captain, Cyrus Harding is his name. The captain takes command. And he tells Pencroft, "If you want to survive, you better stick with us," because Pencroft made a deal. As soon as they light down, they could go their separate ways. Well, now they're on an island. They gotta fend for each other. They gotta work together to feed themselves and all that. So he pretty much takes charge, and Spilett is not too excited either. about the captain taking over, but there it is. They decide to check out the island, see what they can find. Nice big waterfall there. They go over the tree. And then they find a hot spring, which you usually don't find next to saltwater ocean, but who's to say? So they walk over to the Neb and the captain walk over to the hot spring, towards the hot spring, and they're on top of a giant crab. And the giant crab was articulated by Ray Harryhausen, who actually boiled a crab, and that's why it looks orange. Usually crabs don't turn orange until you put them in boiling water. So this crab was evidently half boiled before even attacking these people.
That's pretty, using a real crab. I mean, that's kind of smart.
He did use a real crab.
Yeah,
the parts of it. I'm sure it's really stinky now, but yeah. If it survived at all.
Yeah.
But it grabs Neb. So now it's personal.
And then you got the big prop crab hand.
Yes. Which if you really watch closely, it really doesn't work that good.
Yeah.
It kind of it's like roll around and make him look like he's killing you. It's like that.
I got this big giant paper mache claw. Anybody need this?
So the rest of the gang comes back, and they're all fighting the crab now because it's got Neb, and now it's starting to head towards the water. It's going to take Neb down with it. So Pencroft runs under it with a rope and ties one of its legs behind it with a rope, and then he runs back under it. Luckily, the thing doesn't get him too. So when it gets to the edge there, where it's gonna, go into the water, they pull that rope. They lose hand of it like for a couple of times, and then they finally get a hold of it again. And right when he's on the cliff there, they're able to pull it and then push upward underneath his chin there, his crab chin, and they roll it over, and it's on its back now, and it lets go of Neb. And there again is that wonderful claw that kind of works, kind of doesn't. And they slip it right down they slide it right down into the hot spring, and it's able to boil the crab. It's hot enough to where it boils the crab. So they eat to their heart's content, like an all seafood buffet.
Yeah. Now, only if they found a big pot of butter somewhere. Big butter lake.
They don't have it yet, but again, they're going to find goats in their future. They can make cheese and margarine.
Yeah,
and goat margarine.
Goat margarine. Yeah.
So again, while they're eating crab, they're like, "Wow, why? How did this crab get so big?" Well, he's probably eating those giant oysters. And again, nobody says where'd the giant oysters come from. You've got a good point there. They should be asking these questions. So the captain decides if we go up to the top, to the volcano there, we can look around the entire and see if it's an island or a peninsula or what have you. You can see around us. So they go and Spilett ends up climbing to the peak there, and they find goats. Now here's my problem. Okay, with this. All right. We already seen giant oysters. We've already seen giant crabs. Later in the movie, we meet Captain Nemo, and he even says in his speech, giant goats in his speech on the Nautilus. Why weren't they giant goats? I would have liked to have seen that. I would like to see them trying to corral a giant goat. I would like to have seen Beth Rogan milking a giant goat. I don't know. I'm kinky that way. So anyway, the goats are not giant.
A couple of giant goats.
I mean, later we're going to see other giant creatures. Obviously, Nemo is experimenting on the entire island with different types of creatures. Why not goats? I mean, that would have been like my first one. If you had a lamb or a goat, hey, let's try it on that. They're not that violent.
Or big giant ram. Imagine that.
That would have, See, that would have been dangerous.
Sense.
I can understand that. That would have been dangerous. But these goats are, they're like little billy goats.
Yeah.
So okay, they look, they're on top of the island now. They look out and then they see a small boat coming towards them. Oh, hey, it's a boat we can use to get off the island. Again, this is where it starts becoming Gilligan's Island. because now they're trying to say, hey, let's make a boat and we'll get off the island. So no, the boat's wrecked, it's crashed. They find the two ladies whom I forgot their names. Beth Rogan is the name of the actress that plays the younger one. Yeah. Joanne Hardwood, I think, might be the actress that plays the older one. Very dignified sounding, got kind of a husky voice.
Yeah, it's kind of a high class lady.
Yeah, and they're from England, and unfortunately, the guy that's helped them to escape the peril that they were in, he died. So that's all that poor guy got to do in the movie, is lay face down in the salt water there on the beach.
No, really, I was in Mysterious Island. I was dead body number one.
I was the dead body guy on the shore. You didn't get to see my face, but I was there. So now they've made a hut a la Gilligan's Island for the girls to be in, and they're going around the island to see what they can find. See if they can find fresh water. See if they can find timber to make a boat. They find the fresh water.
Like there's plenty of trees hanging.
And they're like, hey, this side of the island, now that we got a thing with fresh water, this side of the island might be better for us. This is a great place to make the boat. The trees are close by. We'll set up our camp here. And they round the corner and boom, there's a cave there on a cliff. Hey, let's climb up there and see what's going on. There's vines already hanging down from the cave holes. Shut your cave hole. Because all of a sudden I'm Chris Farley. Shut your cave hole. So they're watching. Captain Harding actually decides to go up. Which usually the commanding officer doesn't do that because it could be dangerous. But Captain Harding decides to go up and check it out. By the way, Herbert is already incensed. I mean, from the very moment he lays eyes on her, the Beth character, the younger girl. So Herbert is all about her now. She's going to help him find the courage he needs to not be a sissy boy who runs from everything. Hey, I gotta call it like I see it. So he goes into the cave and he finds a really nasty looking lizard, and then he finds the skeleton that's hanging from the ceiling, which conveniently falls on him to give us a nice little scare, nice little jump scare. And then he finds his journal, and it's a guy that was left here with his tongue cut out by pirates. So they decide, hey, this would be a cool place to keep us, out of the elements and be our home base. And he left a gourd of rum there too, which Pencroft confiscated and got drunk on immediately.
100-year-old rum? Yeah, why the hell not?
Well, I don't know that old, but
old.
And then Spill It does a nice little dramatic reading of the guy being left by the pirates there and left to die with his tongue cut out and everything. And he's doing the news guy thing. And that's when
there it is.
Pencroft comes out.
Big giant.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. This guy was also this actor, a British actor, was also in 1 Million Years BC with Raquel Welch. He was like the villain in the movie. He was like a bad caveman. So he's done a lot of this kind of stuff. They make again, a la Gilligan's Island. They make like a little elevator that you can pull up, pull heavy stuff up with. They're very happy about that. And again, another nice little matte shot. There's Herbert using it to get something up there. A couple of buckets of goat's milk. And they're having a hard time. It takes them like a week to fell a tree with their stone axes. They got to pull hard and work hard to get that down. But, they're making progress. And then, out of nowhere, a la Gilligan's Island, a giant crate full of stuff washes ashore. So I have a feeling that the guy that was the head, like the producer of Gilligan's Island, who wrote a lot of the scripts, he probably saw this movie because that came along like 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah.
So, hey, this would make a great TV show. We can make it wacky and madcap with a laugh track.
Isn't that Sidney Sheldon, I think?
Sidney Sheldon. Yeah, you're right. He also did the Brady Bunch of all things.
Yeah.
So in this crate is exactly everything they need. I mean, there's axes, there's rifles, there's all kinds of good stuff. Compass, instruments to find out where to chart where they are, razors, and what was I going to say here?
There's a mirror for the lady there.
The mirror for the lady.
Book.
There you go. It's the book. That's right. Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe. Yeah.
So somebody was nice enough to send him a nice little care package. Because they determined that it wasn't from the ship that the girls came from, which was scuttled.
Yeah. Oh, I looked it up. Their names is Lady Mary Fairchild and Elena Fairchild.
Lady Mary Fairchild.
Yeah.
And what was the younger one?
When you first see him, you think, oh man, she's gonna be trouble. She's gonna be one of these whiny, privileged. But no, man, she jumped in there and she's
pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
trying to shoot things with guns. Unfortunately, they jam on her. We'll see that in a minute. Anyway, and she just picks up a gun like a big club and goes to whack.
Yeah, she jumps in there. Yeah.
If you can't shoot it, well, use it as a weapon anyway. Find a way.
There you go.
So he charts where they are. They know exactly where they are now. And again, it's in the lower quadrant of the Pacific Ocean. And again, they're just enjoying all these things they got in the crate. And then Pencroft notices that there's some writing on the rifle, and he gives it to the captain. The captain says, "Let me see that." And it turns out that it's from the Nautilus, Captain Nemo's ship, which was supposedly 6 years before scuttled off the coast of Mexico. So again, they were like, well, it couldn't have come from the Nautilus, right? Because I mean, it would look a lot nastier. And how the hell did it get down this far?
Yeah.
So there's also like a watch or a compass or something there that has some Latin writing on it, and of course, Madame Fairchild there knows Latin, so she's able to tell us what it says, and it says, "I must have liberty. Libertas necessest." And it's got Nemo's little N on there. So they tell her, Lady Fairchild, about Captain Nemo. And of course, Cyrus Harding thinks he's a monster because he killed people without warning. And Spilett thinks he was a genius because, he created a ship that could go underwater, and he could breathe underwater like a fish. So anyway, they go to the normal day. The girls are milking the goats and doing their work, and Spilett is out fishing, and then a big shadow comes over him.
And
we get our next monster. We get our next monster. Is it a giant goat? No, I don't think so.
we're all waiting. It's like, come on. Is it a ram? Is it?
So he runs back to the camp. He runs back to where the corral is, where the girls are. Nice move. Yeah, bring it right into camp with you.
Exactly, yeah.
You could have run to the beach anywhere else. But no, you got to bring the damn thing after you back into camp.
And
it's a giant chicken.
It's a giant chicken.
I guess that's what it is. It's a giant bird.
Some kind of, or it looks like
a parrot.
Parrot? No, it's like or a dodo bird or something.
It's got like there you go. I never even thought about that. It does kind of look like a dodo bird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And again, this is the 1800s before the dodo.
It wouldn't have been. They wouldn't have been extinct by then. So yeah.
So this giant dodo bird. That's what I'm going with here. This giant dodo bird attacks the girls. Thanks to Spilett. Thank you.
They would have been safe, but no. Hey, look what I found. They followed me home.
We got to cook this. And again, this is a very impressive giant creature that, again, Ray Harryhausen created. This is one of his more interesting, especially the little tiny wings. I love the little tiny wings. It's like the Tyrannosaurus Rex of birds.
like the redhead.
Look at my arms. I've got tiny arms.
This reminds me of one of Renee Yaworski's hair hats right there.
You mean what Beth is wearing there?
No, the bird.
The bird. Okay. All right.
No, Beth, she turned out to be useless at this point.
Yeah, she just kind of faints right underneath it and puts his foot on. What's that?
Renee Yaworski wishes she had a hair hat that fabulous. That is absolutely, it's like very punk rock, like 1983 CBGB. Like it's Andy Warhol. It's just absolutely amazing. I love it.
Nice red with a swoop up the back.
Exene would have worn that.
Little yellow in the front, on the sides.
It's like a duck butt. One of the duck butts.
Yeah.
Is that like a turkey thing coming off the side of its face? Anyway.
It's just more feathers. Yeah. See,
more
useless.
feathers.
She faints.
Yeah, she just faints right there. Now,
but Lady Mary,
Lady Fairchild, she grabs a gun, man. She is ready to go. She's gonna blast this
face,
thing.
boy. She's like,
but the rifle jams. Now, I don't know how a flintlock rifle can jam.
Oh, they jammed all the time. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So maybe she doesn't realize she's got to load the thing with a rod and everything.
Well, yeah, they're out. Yeah, you could have got sand in it or something, you know.
Okay, so. Personally, if I was back at that time, I would have all those rifles preloaded.
Yeah.
So she realizes this is not going to work this way. I'm going to pick it up and swat the darn thing with the butt, which is a good idea. And the bird is kicking Spillet away and kicking her away, and he's got his other foot on, Beth or whatever her name is. And along comes.
It looks like
what's?
It kind of looks like an ostrich there with them legs.
Yeah, there you go. There might be some ostrich in there.
Yeah,
but ostriches are already pretty big.
Yeah, so it's a dodo.
I think it's a giant dodo. That's what I'm going with. So Herbert comes along. He hears all the screaming and everything, and he comes along and he jumps off the fence. He uses the fence as a springboard and jumps on top of this thing and rides it. Ride him, cowboy. And he pulls out his knife and he starts stabbing it in the neck. So obviously he's over his fears now because he's trying to save his girl.
Yeah.
And it works. She's like, oh, he tried to save me. Oh, I love him now. I'm going to marry him. So he falls over a fence and that's it. The bird's out. And so they cook it.
Of course you do.
And it cuts like butter. That's what Neb says. It cuts like butter.
Well, they got the goat's milk now. They can make butter.
Make a little goat's cheese to go with this. We can make some sandwiches tomorrow. Have the girls bake some bread. And then Pencroft bites a bullet. He gets the part of the turkey that has a bullet in it. Because when you're slicing turkey that big, the slices are probably pretty thick. And they're like, well, wait a minute. Madam Lady Fairchild, her gun jammed. And none of us were able to shoot it. So what the hell? And Herbert's like, yeah, it didn't feel right. Me stabbing it and falling on the fence. It just didn't feel right. I don't know what the hell he meant by that. But again, he stabbed a bird in the neck and it lands on a fence. Come on. So anyway, it's another big conundrum. How did that happen? Okay, let's go back one slide. Lady Pencroft makes goat skin outfits for everybody. Okay, so this film just got a different level of weird. Because now everybody's running around in goat skin. Again, six years later, Gillian's Island, 6 years later, 1 million years BC, they're all in skin outfits. This movie has actually influenced a lot of the culture of the 60s. But the lady doesn't make one for herself because that would be silly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick to my Victorian dress, thank you. So she's already said they're gonna get married. She's going, hey, the captain will marry us, and he's like, he's not a sea captain, you silly. He's a regular captain. You know, and they're doing that shit. You know,
Captain's
they're already
captain.
fighting. And she finds some honey dripping out of a little cave there on another cliff. There's another cave there on the cliff. And again, the cave hole isn't at the bottom. It's like several feet up the cliff. So like Eve finding the apple for Adam, it's like, hey, let's go on up. Come on, you come with me. Let's go up. And they find a giant honeycomb. Okay, now, logic would say if you find a giant honeycomb and you've already fought giant crabs and giant dodo birds, get the hell out of there.
Something's coming.
So they get out of the cave, and of course, incoming a giant bee.
Yep.
A giant bumblebee. And only one. Not a bunch of them, but just one. And again, there should have been a lot of bees in there when they went in, but if it was a regular honeybee hive, but
yeah, they didn't have the budget for all that.
Script. Well, again, Harryhausen has a scene later where there's like 4 or 5 bees in there, where that's the way it should have been, and there's just one coming in. So, looking very like a very waspy looking bee. Hey, watch out for that stinger.
But actually, you know, this is actually one of my favorite effects is the bee.
Yeah.
You know, I think even, you know, it kind of the way it flapped its wings, and
it's a nice effect. It is, really, you know, and again, you can't fault Harryhausen for anything. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a creature that I didn't like that Harryhausen created. I mean, even the Griffin thing that he did for Golden Voyage of Sinbad, I was like, yeah, I'm down with that. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So they decided to climb in the honeycomb. Hey, let's climb in the honeycomb to get away from the bee. Where else you gonna go?
What could go wrong there?
Where else you gonna go?
Exactly.
So they climb in, and the bee comes up, of course, and he knows they're there. He's like, oh, hey, cool, dinner. So he decides to wall them up. He walls them up with wax in the hive.
Yeah.
And I guess it's pretty thick wax because, you know, I think I could break through that. But then again, there's a giant bee on the other side. So, okay, so we have a side story now. We're back in the cave, and they see a boat coming, a ship actually coming. And they're like, oh, wait, we're safe. Wait a minute, let's go back to the cave. Let's go look at it with a telescope is another thing that they got from the Captainnemo crate.
Right.
So they go up to the cave, and again, all this is going back and forth between Herbert and his girl and them at the cave. And Herbert finds some, I guess the bees, for some reason, put some, you know, shrubbery in the honeycomb. And he finds it. He's like, hey, we'll start this on fire in the back of the honeycomb, and we'll get away from the bee going out the back. That's a solid plan, I guess. Of course, there's smoke inhalation.
Locked in.
We're in an enclosed area. Let's start a fire. But hey, you know, lay low. So sure enough, the captain looks out and they're flying the skull and crossbones. Yeah, so it's a pirate ship. So they're probably the pirates that left the poor guy that they cut his tongue out and left him to die. Again, there's fresh water on the island. So okay, so now they know. Pirates are coming. We gotta be quiet here. We don't make any noise, and don't make any waves. I don't know where Neb got green pants from, because he was wearing a Union soldier outfit.
Yeah.
Before, now he's got green pants from somewhere. And
maybe
those might be Spillet's pants. He's wearing Spillet's pants.
Oh, that's right, because he was. Yeah, yeah.
They do look to be about the same size. Hey, I want goat skin, man. You can have my pants.
But why is Pencroft?
I love
Why does he
it.
look like Pencroft? He looks like he's wearing cowhide. Look at that. Like, wait a minute.
We just noticed
Where'd
that.
the
Just
cowhide
wait a
come
minute, where the
from?
hell did those green pants come from?
Yeah, the green. Yeah.
That's
Oh
funny.
no, it's goat. It's goat. Yeah, it's goat skin. Yeah.
Is it goat skin? Green goat skin? We found some dye. We're going to dye some of your clothes, your goat skins.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
those
know.
are spillage pants, man.
Yeah.
But if you go back to the beginning of the timeline, he's wearing green pants. Okay, so here more bees are coming. Hey, I got dinner in here, guys. Come on. Oh, I gotta say, by the way, too, if it's Ray Harryhausen, Charles Schneer producing, and Bernard Herrmann doing the music,
Yeah.
top notch, top shelf. Bernard Herrmann created one of the best scores of his career for this film. The main theme for this film is haunting, and it's great. He uses it throughout the film. He's got a different theme for every monster. He's got a theme for the bees. He's got a theme for the encephalopod, which we'll see a little later on. He's got a theme for the crab, yeah, and the bird too. The bird's kind of a silly theme. But the main theme, great theme. And that's the Nemo theme, really, is what it is. That's the Captain Nemo theme from the film.
Yeah.
So again, if you can find it on YouTube, I know it's out there. It's a great soundtrack for a monster training film. So they get out the back end of the after they come conscious again from the smoke inhalation, they roll out the back of the beehive, and lo and behold, they're staring at the Nautilus, which is in a cavern. It's in a cave, and it's floating. Again, I got a problem here. Captain Nemo tells us later in the film, and there it is, and Captain Nemo tells us later in the film that he can't take it to sea. Why? You're a genius. You've got a working pump on the ship that we see throughout this last 20 minutes of this film. You've got an opening to this cave that opens up that you can go through. Why not float it out to sea when you're in danger? That's a huge plot hole later. So in any case, so they find the Nautilus and they go inside. Because hell, if you saw something like that, you'd go inside, right? Oh man, this is cool.
Yeah. It's like what kind of a funny.
But again, they've been talking about the Nautilus, so they know what it is. So they go in. That is also Michael Callan is the name of the actor there, and he was also in Cat Ballou with Jane Fonda. He was also he's actually on the Superboy TV show. He played one of the villains. That was the last thing that I saw him do. And again, all these people have passed away, except for Michael Craig, who plays Cyrus Harding, Captain Cyrus Harding. Mm-hmm. So again, they're waiting for the pirates to come. And they go out of the Nautilus because Herbert decides he wants to play the organ. Idiot. She pulls him out. She's like, let's get out of here now. And there's the open. Hey, that wasn't there before. That opening wasn't there before. Hey, the tide must have come down. Yeah, brainiac. Thank you, Herbert. So, but anyway, they swim out. And here comes the pirates in a couple of pirates in there's like three of them in a little dinghy boat there. They're going to get some water. And they're like, ooh, I hope they don't see the ship that we've covered with branches. And sure enough, they walk right by it. A branch falls off. Boom. Hey, bro. They start making a fuss. And they end up shooting them. Okay, we got to kill them. Sorry. So the pirates on the ship are like, hey, somebody's up in the cave there shooting our buds. So they start firing the cannons on the cave. Now, while all this is going on, Herbert and the girl can hear it. They know something's going on. They're hearing cannon fire. And again, the cannonballs, these guys are pretty good, actually, pretty good aim. They're landing right there at the cave. And they're excited about the fact that cannonballs are getting close. They're cheering and, hoopling and hollering and having a good time. And all of a sudden, let's go to the next slide. The ship blows up. Or actually, there's just one little section there blows, and the ship sinks. And they're all falling overboard and falling all over the place, and the ship sinks fast because there's a big hole in it. So what has happened is Captain Nemo is walked under the water. He went up, put a limpet mine on the side of the ship, and blew a hole in it. Why? Because he's hoping that that's going to be their way off the island. He's got a plan. He's a genius. So there it goes. All hands are encephalopod food. So here comes Captain Nemo out of the ocean. And of course, back in the 1800s, seeing something like this coming at you, oh my God, it's a monster. What the hell? And it's got a spear. So he's got these big seashell things. And it turns out to be a Chief Inspector Dreyfus from the Pink Panther movies. I really hate all of you. I want to kill you. I
had to come out all the way out here to escape Crusoe.
herbertlom, who actually had a wonderful career as a serious actor. He played the Phantom of the Opera for Hammer Films. He played Captain Nemo here in England. He was in the original, The Lady Killers with Alec Guinness and Peter Sellers.
Yes,
he was one of the nastiest of the villains that wanted to kill the woman.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets Inspector Dreyfus in A Shot in the Dark, which was the film that really kind of shaped what the Pink Panther films would become. And he was in all of those from that time on. He played Inspector Dreyfus, even in Son of the Pink Panther, which was one of his last movies, I think. He passed on shortly after that. Really fun actor. I mean, really great actor. But again, a lot of people think that he was not such a good Captain Nemo. I liked him. I thought he was fine. I thought he was okay.
Yeah.
So here he is. Okay, the seashell thing looks a little silly.
Yeah, I was like, and when you compare it to the outfit from 20,000 Leagues, it's like, oh, really?
Yeah, they couldn't use the same stuff that Disney used because Disney's got one of the worst legal departments in the world.
Yeah.
You don't want to fight with Disney legally. No, really, seriously, you don't want to go Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
So here they run out, and he's waiting for him. I'm ready to talk to you all now. Yeah. Look at that face. Yes, very self-important. I'm a genius, Mm-hmm. So Spilla is amazed. He's starstruck. He's meeting Captain Nemo. And Captain Nemo tells him, look, the reason that I've decided to come out now is because that volcano there is going to blow, and soon. And so we need to work together to get off this island. And the way we're going to get off this island, the ship that I need that's big enough for all of my needs, is out there. And he points to the ship that went down. And he says, and you and I are going to resurface that ship, and we're going to take it. There he is, pointing at it. and use that ship to get the hell out of here before it's too late. So, so they're like, okay.
There's that lovely
spot. There it is. That's actual volcanic eruption footage there from someplace. Stock footage.
Yep.
The mountain doesn't even look the same. Come on. So they all get aboard the Nautilus, which again is impressive.
Yeah. I do like this model though. I mean, the Disney version is great too, but this is actually not too bad.
Again, it's based off of what you read about in the book,
by
Jules Verne, but it's different it's different enough from Disney so you don't get in trouble. So thank you, Jonathan Donegan. I made you laugh with something. Something I said made you laugh. That's good, I guess. Okay, so we're on the Nautilus, and again, it's a lot of velvet and a big organ, and it's Captain Nemo showing off his big organ. Got a little pee-pee envy there. You got to have a big Nautilus ship there, and he's got a green velvet jacket on. Those were Nemo's pants. He put them in the crate.
There you go.
He's wearing Nemo's pants. Hey, I'm going to take these velvet green pants.
Them's fancy.
I want my pants back. I'm wearing black pants and it looks silly. I'm obsessed with these green pants now. So he's sitting here telling him, his plan. What we're going to do is we're going to make a bamboo line from here, the island, all the way out to that ship out there. We're going to fasten it together with some tree sap, and it's definitely not going to leak. It's going to work. Yeah, I'm going to use the pump here on the Nautilus to, put air into that ship. We're going to put a patch on it. We'll make a wooden patch. We'll put it on there, and we'll put the air in the ship, and the ship will rise, and we'll be able to take it away. And he explains, yes, those giant crabs and bees and things the chicken that I shot. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to stop war by stopping hunger. Okay, I'm not destroying ships without mercy anymore. I'm trying to create enough food for everybody so that we don't have to have wars, which is a nice idea. By the way, they did this movie about 40 years later, another version, and Jean-Luc Picard was Captain Nemo in that.
Right? Yeah.
Patrick Stewart was Captain Nemo.
Yeah.
So in any case, that was a side thing I just had to throw in there. So he actually says to Cyrus Harding, "Are you ready to dance with the devil?" And he gives him a glass, and Cyrus Harding goes, "You show me that you've got a pump or something to make this happen, and then maybe I'll drink with you." And that's when Nemo gets to show off his big pump. There it is.
Oh my!
I love using this on the weekends. Hey, I'm here by myself. I need a big pump. So here he's doing his little science lesson for everybody to see. All of a sudden now he's Bill Nye the Science Guy. And he uses a beaker, and he's already got a sketch already made up on the wall. He drew a sketch of the ship with a hole in it. And if you'll go over to this diagram here, I was waiting for that question.
Wait a minute.
He's a genius. Now the thing is, they even say, "Do we have time to do this?" He's like, "Not really, but I would like it if we did." He's missed people. He's been there by himself for a while. The other guy had his tongue cut out, and he hung himself. So okay, he shows them how to put on the underwater stuff and apparatuses and stuff. And he's got an electric gun, which doesn't shock everybody underwater, which is a great conductor of electricity. Yes. That was another plot hole. It shoots electricity in a straight line to save them
without boiling everybody to death.
So again, I gotta ask questions. Did you say that was an electric gun? So, and he shows them like the lost kingdom of Atlantis. There's a lost city underneath on the water there.
Because of course there is.
Why not?
Why not?
So
we had these models left over.
Let's
throw them in there.
So unfortunately, the island blows its top finally. And Nemo's like, "We've run out of time." Well, you spent all that time on the Nautilus drinking, you piece of...
You could have, yeah.
I mean, what the hell? You let us sleep. We should have started working right away. It's not like Bill Buck. We should have started working right away.
wasting time playing with your big organ.
Show off. You call yourself a genius. And now he's playing his organ again.
He blew up the ship, right? With the limpet mine. He pops out of the water.
Yes.
He takes him back to the Nautilus. When did he have time to draw the diagram of the ship?
Well, that was my point. I was like, damn. He must have known that conversation was going to happen like hours before it happened.
Yeah.
So in some ways, he is a genius.
Well,
but
he knew the part.
To take the 30 minutes to do the science lesson, if he'd have had another 30 minutes.
Well, to think about, he probably knew that the pirates are going to come back or, supplies, water, whatever. He figured, okay, when they come back, I'm going to blow a hole.
Minutes, he'd have been alive. He would have gotten off the island in time. Anyway,
yeah,
I digress again. So, okay, so the Herbert's like, can you tell us how long we got? And he goes, does it really matter? And they're like, well, yeah. We're going to be boiled alive in the Nautilus. Does it really matter? And he doesn't say that, but that's what he's thinking.
And the girls are like,
and he goes, about 2 hours. And that's when Cyrus Harding sees the inflatable apparatus on the side of the pump. And again, he uses it on the weekends. And he goes, wait a minute. I got an idea. What if we take the balloon that we have, that we rode in on, we stitch it up. That'll take about 30 minutes. We take it out to the ship, put it inside the hull of the ship, and then put the air in that. Wouldn't that work? By God, it is a chance. Why didn't Nemo think of that? He's a genius.
And why didn't they think of fixing the balloon
sooner? Yeah.
Or they're going to cut it
so
up and
don't
make it
leave projects undone, folks.
Exactly.
To save your life. You got that balloon in the back room ready.
That's right.
Again, if they'd had the balloon ready, if they didn't take the 30 minutes to stitch the balloon up, they would have saved Nemo. Anyway, so I'm trying to lay guilt where guilt is deserved. So they go under the water, and you know how if anything can go wrong when you're doing something that's really important, can go wrong. Yeah. All this time, Nemo has been running around down there underwater with his electric gun. I guess he never ran into the giant encephalopod.
I guess not.
And if so, he probably would have told them, oh, by the way, watch out for Spot. The giant encephalopod. He's close to where the ship is. But he didn't. He didn't tell him. So we almost lost Pencroft because the encephalopod grabbed him right away. Encephalopod. There's his eye. Woke him up. So there's a tentacle heading out. There's the tentacle. You get Hazzard, your tentacle. She's ignoring. She does not want to have anything to do with that.
No comment. I plead the fifth.
It's
going after Pencroft. It's going after Pencroft. It should have gone after Spilett, with the green pants, but
nope.
Going after Pencroft. Okay, let's move forward. We're at 58 minutes. We got to move forward. All right, so the island, they show different island, different stock footage of different lava flow, because you need that. And again, more stock footage of a serious volcanic eruption somewhere. On the mysterious island, of course. And there's Pencroft in the clutches of the giant encephalopod. And Cyrus Harding, who's inside the ship, actually, he's putting the balloon inside the ship. He realizes what's going on. He gets out there with the electric gun. There's Pencroft. Ah! He's trying to get into the backside of my suit. Ah! Before there was tentacle porn, there was Mysterious Island. So again, he uses the electric gun, and the cephalopod is like, "Ooh, that's nice."
Cool.
He spews his black goo. Spews some ink out there. I don't know why I did the 2 shots there. I mean, again, I was late at night when I did this. This is him without the electricity. Here's him with the electricity.
Before, after, before.
So he hits it 2 times with the electric ray, and both times he spews black ink into the water. But then, like, the next shot is perfectly blue water again. You can see everybody. So I'm not sure about how that went. But anyway, they pull Pencroft up. He's okay. He's alive. He's doing all right. He's just a little squeezed. He squeezed him a little. Captain Nemo's grabbing his charts. He's heading up the staircase. He's already started the pump to work the air to the balloon. The island's looking like it's really blowing up now, as you can see on the faces of the people. But there goes the air through the pipeline, the bamboo, and the ship starts to rise. They start to see the posts coming up out of the water. It's working. Da, 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 boo, da, da, da. All right, so Nemo is being rocked back and forth in the Nautilus. And again, why just not open the cavern there and let the Nautilus drift out to sea? You're a genius. Come on. Think. So rocks are falling down around him. By the way, that's not really herbertlom there. You can see you're pretty sure that's just a stunt actor with a beard and a nasty wig on. Anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. It's pretty obvious. He has to go back into the Nautilus because there's rocks falling all around down him on the top of the Nautilus. He doesn't want to get his head bashed in with a boulder. But then like a crossbar at the top of the Nautilus falls on him. He should have probably bolted it to the wall a little tighter. Or maybe it's like one of those those shower curtain things. Damn it! Damn that suction cup. So obviously he's in a lot of pain, and then he's dead. That's pretty dead look right there.
And no, that's the look of a man going thinking, where the hell has my career gone?
Why did I have to drink? Why didn't I just get them to work right away? Why didn't I pull the Nautilus out, back it up in the ocean? Damn it. Boom, everything starts blowing up. And they're watching from the ship. And they're like, oh, geez, I don't think he's going to make it. Poor Nemo. So then we get a nice little narration from Cyrus Harding saying that they're all going to live a life better the way Captain Nemo would have liked it. And that's the end of the movie. They go, okay, goodbye. Oh. By the way, the island looks great there. As they pull away. Well, wait a minute. Why is that side of the island not scorched and covered in black goo? Anyway. So that's it. That's Mysterious Island. Charles Schneer production. Ray Harryhausen effects. Great soundtrack by Bernard Herrmann, and some great performances by some stellar British actors. And Michael Callan, who's I don't think he's British. I think he's American, but somehow he ended up in that film. Again, later he would go on to do other stuff like Cat Ballou and things like that. But
yeah,
there it is. So thank you for joining us for this. Thank you, Sergeant Havoc, Major Hazzard.
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure, of course. And thank you to all of our cadets. We greet all of our wonderful cadets. Welcome to 2024 with the Big Monster Briefing.
2024. We are going to have some great movies coming up. Jake Allen is going to join us again for the Abominable Dr. Phibes. Next week, we're going to have Panorea join us for the Mummy Shroud. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have Ruby Ray Moore join us for Lair of the White Worm. Probably one of the kinkiest training films out there. Snake people.
That's going to be
Snake
fun.
people. And Alan Hops will be joining us again real soon for Legend of Boggy Creek. So, that's coming up soon as well. So that'll be the next 4 shows, I believe. And got a lot more coming up. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. How do you kill a maniac who's trying to kill you with a chainsaw? Shoot him! Shoot him a lot with a gun.
That's right.
How many movies did they make of those? Shoot him! Sorry. And we got Phantasm. We're going to do Phantasm. With the 3-headed monster. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Yep. And there it is. And when the cephalopodra's up, I should have said only a face a mother could love.
There you go. But you said it now. You made up for it.
I got it in there. I got it in there before the end.
Okay. Well, good night, everybody. Right. Thank you all. And No Icing is on tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's a special time tonight.
Just under 2 hours.
So, yep. So make sure that you stay tuned.
Yep. And keep an eye out for